Hi everyone! You are probably here to learn how to decorate wool felted Easter eggs. These are some eggs that I've completed with polka dots. So grab your felting kit and get ready to go. Taking a look at what's inside your kit, you've got 4 Easter eggs. They're all hand felted, so you might find that they vary in shape and size, but they'll be similar. Then you've got your little packages of wool roving. Now it doesn't look like much, but there's a ton in there, definitely enough to finish your eggs and maybe even something to play around with and create on your own afterwards. A sponge, and this is just used for keeping our needle safe, just somewhere to poke in our needle so that it doesn't get lost. And then the needles, and I would like to remind everyone that this is not a good project for young children or anybody who's a bit shaky or doesn't have their hand-eye coordination down yet. These are extremely, extremely sharp, and you will get hurt if you aren't paying attention. So make sure there's no distractions around. Make sure you're paying attention, and it'll be fun. So, are we ready to go? Let's start by making a safe workspace. We're going to do that by putting down just a folded towel. Use a scarf, just a chunk of fabric, anything to make a nice soft surface and make it safer for us to do our needle felting, help prevent us from breaking our needle as well. Polka dots are the easiest place to start, but then you can always go off onto something different, your own design. We're going to need a needle that we very carefully have taken out of the container, and our sponge for keeping the needle in. I want you to look at this needle though. It's got little barbs on the end. That's what makes it a felting needle. That's what tangles all the little wool fibers together, and that's what makes the loose wool roving into more of a fabric. So you're going to want to be very careful of those little notches of that end of the needle because that's very sharp and the needles will break, so you have to be careful with them. And then you have the eggs. They're nice and dense. The constructing part is finished for you. Now you just get to do the fun part of decorating. You have little packages of wool roving. This doesn't look like much, but it will be more than enough. And all you're going to do is open up the package, and it's rolled up. So you just find the end and unroll it. You can see how flossy it is. It's very easy to shape into the shape that you want it to be to make your own designs. And we don't use scissors on roving because the ends actually can be kind of hard to work into your design once they're cut, once they're harsh. So we actually use only a little tiny bit, and we pull it off of the batch of roving. That's all we have to do. So there is what we're going to be working with. I have one that I've started. It's still got some blank space that I need to fill in, but I have started making some dots on it. We're going to keep going with this as you start yours. So I'm just going to take a look at it and decide what color I think needs to go next. I think perhaps orange. So remember, we don't cut the roving. We're just going to take a little bit of it and pull. And you'll be surprised at how little you do need. This is barely any at all, and I might even have too much, but we'll see. So we begin by rolling it into a ball because we want a round shape in our polka dots. That's where we're going to start. Tangles up the wool, gets the felting process started, and then we're going to find a spot. And yes, I think this polka dot is going to be too big. So I'm just going to take away some of that wool, put it back in my pile. I can use that later. Make our ball. That's a better size. Okay, so very carefully hold it in the place that you want your dot to be. Take your needle and stab it 4 or 5 times just to get it secured so it won't move around on you. Now, it's not going to go anywhere. My wool is held down there securely, so now all I need to do is make the polka dot shape. And to do that, I'm just going to gently guide my needle around the outside to kind of draw a circle, which gets our shape, and then I'm going to secure it more by poking more in the middle again. You want to make sure that it's always straight in and straight out at the same angle. You don't want it moving around. That'll snap your needle, and broken needles are no fun. So you want to gently guide the fibers into place, but you don't want to be pushing them or picking at them. Now you don't want to work in just one area. You want to move across the design you're making. Keeps your design somewhat even. You don't want it to be all lumpy and weird. And that's the whole process. You secure it down, you go around the outside and check the shape, and you continue securing it down. And I see mine's a little bit wonky on this side, but that's okay. I'm gonna gently push the fibers back in this direction so you can see even little mistakes can kind of be corrected. And just keep going around in the same angle as you're going out, out the same angle as you're going in. And if you continue stabbing throughout your little design, the fibers are going to be all tangled together, and that polka dot will become part of the fiber that makes up your egg. Just going to check it. It's a little bit raised still. I like mine to be completely flush so that there's no part of it sticking out. That way it won't catch on anything. And there we go. We have added a needle felted polka dot to our Easter egg. Now you'll see that it is kind of fuzzy. That's the nature of working with wool. If you like your design to be a little more crisp and clean, you can take any pair of scissors and hold it alongside the surface, never cut into your design. But if you do this, you'll be trimming off all those little stray fibers if you don't like the look of them, and it just neatens it up. So you could go through your entire little design once your egg's finished. I've made a little orange Easter egg that has a little twining vine and some little blue flowers. So in this case, if you wanted to cover the entire egg, you would have your wool roving, spread it out instead of balling it up, and wrap your egg. And then you would do your felting that way. Again, keeping your needle straight in and straight out until the egg was covered. You could do half eggs, you could do quarter eggs, you could do stripes. There's all kinds of things you can do. I worked on a twirly kind of design on this one. This one took me a long time. And in order to get thin little stripes like this, you grab your chunk of wool roving. You want it a little longer this time rather than a little short section. And instead of a ball, you would roll it into a rope. Just continue twisting it up. And that gets the fibers a little bit under control, starts them tangling. And then you would lay it on the egg like that. And that's how you would do your felting. You would just poke the fibers in and gently guide them into place. Remember, no picking or pulling. Gently guide them into place as you do your poking. Just remember that you never need any more than this first little notched bit to enter into the egg or into the body of your felting. That's as far as it needs to go because there's no notches anywhere else. And if you go deeper, it'll just make it easier to break your needle. I really hope you have fun creating your designs of your Easter eggs, and there should be enough wool left in there for you to play around a bit and see if you can make some of your own shapes and designs. So good luck with your felting, and I hope you have fun. Thanks.